Well, here we go again. Another versatility video. What's good, ya maulers? This is Urb back at you with another YouTube video, and today we're talking about the versatility of the SwordLegends in BrawlHalla. Now, this is kind of what I've been wanting to do for a long time, and it recently came up as a special request, so this one's going out to you, special request person that made the special request to get this video put on this channel as a special request. I hope you guys find this video informative. As of me remaking this video, there's a confirmed number of 10 SwordLegends in the game BrawlHalla. I will touch base on all the legends, specifically just with their sword. We're going to talk about just how versatile these legends are with their sword attacks, talking about lights, talking about their signatures, how to blend the lights with the sigs. We're going to go real deep into the video. I'm going to try to keep it short and sweet because there's not much to say about all of these guys, but we're going to see where it goes. With that being said, let's get it. First up on the list at number 10, we have Gajala. Well, I like to call her Gajala. With that being said, she is mainly used as a heavy hitter, at least from what I've noticed. She's not the easiest to make combos with. She's a heavy hitting sword user, but she can't take many hits. She's what we call in the gaming community a glass cannon. She's pretty average with her speed and a bit harder to use. She requires a little more patience, I will say for sure. She takes a little more time to use than some of the SwordLegends. I will say, based off of her signatures that she has, she can fit both in 1v1s and free-for-alls. However, like I said, she's not the easiest with her combos. As far as her light attacks, as far as her sigs are concerned, she's a heavy hitter, she's a glass cannon, she hits hard as all get up, but she can't take many hits herself, okay? Kinda why I have her at number 10. Let's move on to the next one. Alright, here at the mighty number 9 spot, we have Bothbar. The thing with Bothbar, at least from my standpoint, I don't see a lot of Bothbar in BrawlHalla unless I use him myself or I come across some guy trying to cheese it off in some 1v1. The thing with Bothbar, I would personally like to see more of him based off of what I used and what I've came up based off of my like kind of take on him. I personally really do want to see more of him. He's not the fastest with the sword, but he deals out some pretty decent damage when mixing up his light attacks and his sigs. At the end of the day, he is very situational, very situational, and I'm say situational in a sense that you have to have the instincts of a Spider-Man himself to use Bothbar. He can do some pretty nice things, but I don't see enough of him to have him at number 5 or 4 or anything like that. He is definitely not top tier, but I don't exactly have him last in the list. Let's go on to the next one. Next up on the list, we have Jiro. Now, I ended up covering Jiro on my Scythe's Legend video. I believe it was around the time I got to Jiro or after. I ended up saying how this is where the legends kind of get really versatile. And it's around here where legends start to get a little versatile. I will admit that. Jiro has some pretty flashy sigs. They can be really effective if you can connect them. Now, as far as the SwordLegends are concerned, Jiro is a pretty eye-to-eye kind of legend. He likes his business up close and personal. Of course, if you don't count the down sig, as you've seen earlier, he's able to charge you from halfway across the map if need be. I've seen him work pretty nicely in free-for-alls, but in my opinion, he's best suited for 1v1. Now, the thing about fighting Jiro in a 1v1 is that he's not seen often, especially not with his sword. People usually use him for his scythe, so keep that in mind. Jiro's really flashy. He's an up-close and personal fighter with the sword. He's really eye-to-eye mind. I've seen him work pretty well in free-for-alls, but I think he's best suited for 1v1s. Let's go on to the next one. Alright, at number 7 we have Cody. I will say Cody is thoroughly fun to use in my opinion. He's versatile, but he's not very versatile, okay? I mained Cody the most of all the Sword Legends when BrawlHalla first released on console. He's not impossible to mix his light and SIGs with. He has a bit of a slight learning curve to him, but once you figure out and understand where his SIGs go and how to apply them to the opponent, it is satisfying nonetheless. Now let's keep this in mind. He's not the flashiest legend with this sword, but he's pretty straightforward with learning his combos. I will personally say he's best suited for 1v1s. He is by far the heaviest hitting sword legend with his Sidra attacks. Like I said, he's not impossible to mix up combos with, has a bit of a learning curve, he's satisfying once you figure him out, he's best suited for 1v1s, heaviest hitting sword legend of them all. Let's move on to the next one. Next up on the list we have Sidra. Now, Sidra is not as well known with her sword than she is with her cannon. I will say that with her name being Sidra and her being a sea pirate, you would expect her to have sea style SIGs. Possibly the most average legend to use. She does shine the most in her 1v1s, with her SIG being made to take on most opponents one at a time. I've seen her SIG be pretty effective in free for all, but she does the most damage and she's by far the most efficient in 1v1. Sidra is rather fun to use. She's probably about average speed with her attacks and her movement. She's just, in my opinion, an all-round character to use despite what her stats say. But she's pretty fun nonetheless. On to the next one. With royalty at number 5 we have Sir Roland. Now, how do I feel about Sir Roland? Underestimated. That's how I feel about him. I prefer him more as a swordsman. Y'all know I can't stand the pole lance. I hate it. It can burn underground for all I care. I cannot stand the pole lance. But his sword, let me make sure I make this clear. His sword is where it's at, okay? He's the toughest sword legend we have as far as his defense is concerned, but he's not the fastest one, which I'm gonna assume is due to his pole lance. He's not the fastest, but he is definitely the toughest as far as his defense is concerned. He's tons of fun to use with his sword. I've seen him in both 1v1 and free for all. A lot of fun, very underestimated. Let's move on to the next one. At number 4 we have Asura herself. Oh, this old two-tailed cat. I like her. I like her a lot. Look, I'm not trying to be biased here, okay? But Asura is fast. She's fast nonetheless, but she's not the fastest and she's not the most versatile, but she is fast, okay? She has really nice smooth transitions from her light attacks to her SIG attacks. She's not the easiest to use, but she's not very difficult either. And I'm talking in terms of timing. She's very fun to learn. She's pretty doggone flashy with her combos as well. She has pretty effective SIGs. I will personally say she's best suited for 1v1s. I'm gonna say it again, her SIGs are devastating and she has some pretty decent speed. But like I said, she's not the fastest, she's not the most versatile. She's very fun though. Let's move on to the next one. Next up, here we have Thatch. I like to call him Yuck Mouth. He got that old yuck mouth. Say gold tooth, yuck mouth. Anywho, Thatch is a bit easier to use than Sidra in my opinion. I don't see him often, but when I do see him, it's usually when people are using him against me. A little bit more than the previous characters. He's a pain to deal with, which is why he's at number 3. He's a big pain to deal with. His sword attacks, when you don't spam them, it can be pretty doggone effective, alright? I've seen him used a lot in free for all, but you know what? I take it back. I'm sitting here thinking about it, and I think he's best in free for all. But he's pretty effective in 1v1 as well, okay? If you notice his SIGs alone, they have like kind of like a cone to them. You know, they have like a wide sweeping motion. That's what makes Thatch deadly, okay? That, in my opinion, makes him very, very deadly. He has his light attacks, of course, with his swords, but when you blend that with those signatures, with that wide cone, that in itself is what makes him a pain to deal with, okay? I can guarantee you that. Let's move on to the next one. look, y'all can hate me later, okay? I didn't want to do this myself. But at number 2, we got Natori, okay? Now, statistically speaking, Natori did fall a little bit short, okay? But don't cut her out just yet. She is unbelievably fast with great combos to back it up. Statistically speaking, she is the fastest legend we have in BrawlHalla. She's absolutely punishing with all of her attacks. She has some pretty decent defense. She's the most fun to learn, most fun to use. And I will say, of all the sword legends on this list, she is my personal favorite, okay? Like I said, I'm not trying to be biased here, but she statistically fell short as far as her stats is concerned. Well, if you know your BrawlHalla, you know who's number 1. Let me explain. Before y'all start disliking videos and unsubscribing, let me explain. Let's go to number 1. Alright, look, hear me out. Number 1 on this list, we have Val. Barely. And I say barely with every bit of my heart and soul. Val is barely first, but I think she's deserving of it. Now, hear me out. Val's speed with her combos, it can seem almost endless, okay? She's not the fastest attacking legend, but she has some doggone fast sword combos. I didn't notice how good Val's sword was, like, she was quick, you know what I'm saying? I was picking up and I was trying her out, and I was mixing her light and sigs. There's a variety of things that can be done with Val. I've seen her do some devastating things in 1v1, but she's pretty doggone effective in free-for-all as well, okay? There's a variety of things that can be done with her. She almost became my favorite sword legend as of the time I was practicing and figuring out how she worked for this video. Val is wild, okay? She has some nasty stuff that can be done with her sword. Do me a favor, if you made it this far into the video, go play some BrawlHalla. Put down Val's gauntlets for just a moment, pick up Val's sword, and watch yourself go to work, okay? She is astounding with the sword combos. Number 1 on his list, we have Val, the Lady Iron Man.
Oh Lord, hey,